In this video, we will explore how the Bartik theme organizes its files and folders, announces the theme is available to Drupal, and the basic configuration of the metadata exposed in the .info file. We can then utilize this information in creating a simple sub-theme to get ourselves more comfortable with creating themes prior to working with our custom Samoka theme later in this series. Let's begin by browsing over to Aptana Studio and expanding our themes Bartik folder. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what folders and files make up the Bartik theme. The first folder we see is the color folder. This contains the color module, which allows for visually changing the color of backgrounds, header, footer, titles, headings, and links within the Bartik theme. Next is the CSS folder. This contains all the style sheets used by the Bartik theme, along with the images folder for containing all the images, and the templates folder. I want to stop here for a second because the templates folder contains actual templates that are being overridden by the Bartik theme. We will explore these in great depth later on. Next, we have the Bartik.info file. This is the file that contains the metadata for the Bartik theme. This tells Drupal what the theme is called, its description, what core version of Drupal it uses, along with any style sheets and scripts needed to be included. Last is regions that can be used to output content and any features specific to the theme. Next, we have the logo and screenshot. These provide the theme with a visual reference from the Appearance tab. Finally, there's the template.php. This allows for advanced theming not covered in this series, which you can use to override variables through preprocess and process functions. Let's go ahead and create our own sub-theme based off of the Bartik theme. We can do this by expanding the Sites, All, Themes folder, and inside here we want to go ahead and create a new folder. So we click on File, New, Folder, and give it a name. In this case, we'll give it a name of Bartik Sub. Now that we have a folder for our sub-theme, we need to go ahead and create a .info file. Same process, click on File, New, and instead of clicking on Folder this time, we're going to click on File. We want to give this a name of Bartik Sub.info. Inside this Bartik Sub.info file, we want to go ahead and give it a name. So we're going to specify name equals Bartik Sub. This tells Drupal 7 what our theme is called. Next is description. Description equals a sub-theme based off the Bartik theme. Now you can give this description whatever name you want, but just make sure it makes sense to the end user when they are looking at this through the appearance interface. Next, and very mostly important, is the core. If we don't specify the core, then this theme will be disabled by default. And if we don't specify a core of 7x, then this will be defaulted to 6x and thus disabled if we're trying to use this in Drupal 7. Next, base theme equals Bartik. If we do not specify a base theme and try to actually enable this without actually adding any style sheets or regions, then we would be simply looking at the default output of Drupal without any styling. Now that we have a name, a description, a core, and have specified the base theme, the only thing really left at this point is to add some regions. If we don't add any regions, Drupal 7 by default will add in regions such as header, highlighted, help, contents, left and right sidebars, and footer. Since we want to make sure we don't accidentally have content not display based off the Bartik theme, we're going to go ahead and open up the Bartik.info file and copy in the regions from this particular theme. So copy, paste. Now let's go ahead and save this. One last thing before I actually go and enable this theme, I want to copy the logo and the screenshot from the Bartik theme into our sub-theme. This way we actually have the Drupal drop on the main homepage display, and we actually have a screenshot for the theme back in the appearance interface that I can visually see what this theme looks like. Once I have those in place, I can go ahead and tab back over to Drupal, go to the appearance interface, scroll down to disable themes. Here I see the name of my theme, the description, the screenshot, which we just copied in. And if I click on Enable and Set Default, close this tab, Nothing should have changed, and that's because we're using all the same characteristics of Bartik, but we know that we're actually using the Bartik sub. And from here on, we can start manipulating it or modifying it to our needs. One last thing, if any of the information that I covered seems to be a little over your head, no problem. You can simply browse out to drupal.org/node 171205. I don't make up the page IDs, but that's what it's called. And you can simply see in the documentation for the theming guide the structure of the .info file. Now that we've taken a look at how the Bartik theme organizes its files and folder structure, lets Drupal know that it is a theme, and the configuration of its metadata, we will take a look further on how CSS is configured and utilized.